Hey! I was putting some pineapple jars away and I thought you might want to take a peek into my pantry cabinets. I don't get to show them from this angle very often. I'm actually standing up on a stool. So these are things that I have home canned and I thought you might want to see what they were. And these are all from last summer. So I'm going to just scroll one more time here and then I'll kind of go one by one. So these are all shelf stable items that I have canned over the last year. So up there on the top is pickles, and these are pickled beets, and then we have carrots and green beans and regular beets. These are mango salsa. Yeah, mango pineapple salsa. In the other room we have zesty salsa, and we have peaches, more pickles. I think these are the hot ones, hot pickles. This is spaghetti sauce, and then just diced tomatoes. There's some peaches over there and some pears. So normally I keep these out here in our glass cabinets. That's normally not how you would want to store them. You normally want to store them in a dark area. So we have a darker pantry that we normally store them in, but they sure make pretty pictures when I'm doing stuff in the kitchen. So I have them in here, but these are definitely the first ones that we grab, and then I grab them out of the darker pantry room and move them in here as I need to refill them. So these are all things that I had canned since last summer and we're just rotating through. And then I was going to show you my other cabinet here. So it is going to be a little bumpy right over there. Somebody asked, I noticed you have them sealed with the jar rim and not with the screw top lids. Yes. So if you properly can them, you don't need the rings anymore. And I believe in taking them off and you wash them off and then don't put the rings back on them at all. And that way that if you have, for some reason you have a false seal, that ring isn't going to make it reseal again if the temperature changes or something, and you can have botulism and potentially kill your family. So anyways, that is why I keep the rings off. I know that they are properly sealed. If it opened up for some reason, it wouldn't reseal. I've never had a jar open up, but I am from the school of thought that you always absolutely remove your seals. I know that some people aren't that way and they believe in keeping them on. That is not what I believe. So I just believe that the safest way ever is to properly can them using proper tested recipes. You'll never see me doing like a rebel recipe. Like I always do safety, scientific, all the things for recipes, and I will take off the rings and leave them off the entire time. So I'm going to go over here to this other cabinet. So up here I have, these are the last of the the pizza sauce I have left. So I only have like enough for like 6 more pizzas, and I had a whole bunch of those at the beginning of August. So we're like, 8-9 months into that. So, but I can always make more pizza sauce because I have tomatoes and stuff. So these are green beans, and then there's some more carrots, and this is some corn, and then this is applesauce. I have a whole bunch more applesauce in the other room too, and pickles. And there's still some more tomatoes here. I canned 150 pounds of tomatoes last year, so we have a bunch. If we don't use them all up before this harvest season, I'll probably can less for next year, but they last a couple years on the shelves. But I'm always trying to can 1 year ahead. So I'm always 1 harvest year ahead. These are more pickles here, and these are the pineapple that I made last week. So anyways, I was pretty excited about those, and I was just putting these up in the cupboard. So these are the only new canned item that's up there. And then this last one here is blackberry pie filling. So I could just throw that in the pan and add like a cobbler topping to it and have like a cobbler or like an oatmeal crumble like top. So one of my friends was teasing the other day that she wanted pie, and I kept thinking I'm leaving the next day, but I could totally just whip out a pie if I wanted to. So she ended up with carrot cake from the store. I was just like, I have homemade pie, easy to do at home. But that is what is in my cabinet. I'm not going to close that, or the reflection will show me. But somebody said they love the rainbow food. Yeah, I totally don't have them in order and move them around because I like how they look. That is no lie there. They do look pretty, like in my book pictures and different things. Most of these items were water bath, not the vegetables that have low acid. So these were not water bath. Those are pressure canned. But you can do a lot of this in water bath canning, which is like the first step in learning how to can. And I'm going to be doing lots of videos on that over the summer. Is there a how-to video on your canning process? I have a couple little ones, but I don't have, it's more, I'm just just kind of talking through me doing it, and I haven't done a like step-by-step YouTube one yet, but I plan on doing that as we move more into the canning season. How do I determine which foods you want to leave the rings on and which I want off? I take them off of everything that's properly canned. So, I mean, like right here, I have some pasta, and this is not canned. This is just in a jar, and then it has the ring on it. So this hasn't been canned. It is just in a jar. So when I put strawberries in my refrigerator, that's just putting it in the jar. And so then I have the ring on it. But when it's been properly canned, then it seals on its own. So I take the rings off of everything that I can. Always. Somebody's asking if I've ever canned sweet potatoes. I haven't. I have not ever canned sweet potatoes. So I'm not going to give you advice on that because I haven't. Where do I keep my dinnerware? Oh, right below, right there. That's where I keep my dinnerware. This is the second cabinet that you guys don't normally see. Somebody asked me how long they stay canned, or how long do they stay good, I guess was the question. Normally I plan from one harvest season to the next harvest season. So normally a year to 18 months, but they totally stay fresh at least 3 years. Some people that have been canning a long time, they'll eat things that are like 5 years old, but I try to only plan like 1 to 1.5 years ahead of time. Pickled onions, I haven't done those. I've done pickled beets. Somebody has, none of that goes bad. No, if it's properly canned. So it's not just in jars, it's canned. I had just started filming videos and doing things right after canning season last year, and then I went viral right after that. So I didn't have, like, all the tomatoes and stuff were done before that. Is it only water? Most of them, sometimes they have a little bit of salt in them depending on the recipe, but you have to do it with a specific canning pot, and there's instructions. Are canning supplies hard to come by in my region? Only generic options here. Yeah, okay. Yes, the lids are still hard to get, but the best place that I have found to get them is a local hardware store, not like Home Depot. It's like a local, it's McClendon's, but it's like an Ace Hardware, like smaller local hardware store. And then like Tractor Supplies, they have the lids more often than not. And I've heard good things. And normally I don't like the off brands, but I've heard really good things about the Denali brand. And so if I could get my hands on some of those, I would get my hands on those too. So somebody is asking, aren't these just mason jars? Yes, these are mason jars, but they go through a whole canning process. This isn't just tomatoes I put in here and didn't do anything with it. Like, it went through a pressure canning process or a water bath canning process. I'll be posting more videos on how to do that. Don't just put food in a jar and put it up on your shelf. It won't stay. It has to go through the canning process. Do you mind sharing how much you pay for lids? Lids for a package of them should only be like $2 to $3. So a package is normally $12. Like, if you're getting them off of somewhere that's trying to price gouge you, then they were doing it for ridiculous last year. But they should only be like $3 for 12 of them. And then none of these have them, but I do have, what are they called? They're called Tatler lids. I'll find a link. Tatler lids that are reusable lids that you can buy too. Harvest Guard, I think, is the name that you look up. So I don't have an affiliate with them or anything, but it's like a disc on top and then a rubber seal that you can keep reusing them. So I use those sometimes for water and different things. I just like that I have them, so I know that I can can things if I need to over the years. Somebody said Amazon has supplies. Yes, Amazon does have supplies. I have a lot of them in my storefront. If you go to thecrosslegacy.com/start here, I'll type that out in the description too. I have most things if they are being listed for a good price. If they're not being listed for a good price, then I don't put them on my storefront. So if they're an item that's being price gouged, then I don't have them. And we check them all the time to make sure that it is a good price. Because like the quart jars for a while, like they were not good to get anywhere else. Somebody said I always use Ball. Yes, I normally always use Ball. But if I wasn't going to be able to can for any other reason and I could get my hands on Denali ones, those are the only other ones that I remotely think are safe. Ball has switched hands, so they are manufacturing them overseas now, and they're not the quality of what Ball used to be. But that is all I've ever really canned with is Ball. and definitely all my jars are all ball. Also, it's not safe to keep rings on after having used them. I don't believe it's safe to keep rings on in the pantry. If you open it up and then you need to put it in the refrigerator because you didn't eat all of it, then that's when I do it. But I don't believe when you're canning them to keep the rings on them on the shelf. So anyways, yeah, so these are most of our canning items. It's getting kind of low in the pantry area, but this was just kind of what we had left from last year or last harvest season. So I need to be using it up and doing all the things. So I'm just going to do one last more. There's my pineapple that I canned last week and it's now on the shelf. So this pineapple I got because it's on sale right now. April and May is harvest season for pineapple, and then I was able to water bath these. So now I have pineapple on the shelf. We'll use them within a year, but they would last like 2 to 3 years on the shelf. And I got the fresh, pineapple for $1.50, which is like half the price of what we can normally get pineapple for. But I've heard some people saying they've gotten it for as low as 87 cents a piece, which is like so cool. So anyways, watch out for pineapple, and 'tis the season for it. So even if you cut it up and put it in the freezer, you can have fresh pineapple cheaper and know that there's, no extra things in those jars that you don't want. So do I can oranges? Yeah. Oh, I just gave some away to my friends the other day. Around December time, if you look in, there's a video from like around December, and then I have a couple more there in the other shelf. What do you make with canned pineapple? We normally just use canned pineapple for pizza. So are you team pineapple on your pizza? That's mostly what we use it for. And I put it in this like kielbasa stir fry too that we do kind of often. Yeah. So that was today. So thank you for checking us out, and we'll be posting more videos as canning season progresses. I just wanted to show you what was in my cabinets. So have a good weekend, and we will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.